right, match number 4. We've got Brad Wilton of Calgary is bowling against Gary Baird from Black Falls, which is
great ball.
Yeah. Good start for Brad.
Both these young gentlemen are excellent competitors. Been playing the tour for. Gary doesn't play the tour as often because of work. He doesn't get out. Brad's a young gentleman that plays every tournament, plays well. His wife as well, who they're now expecting their first run.
She's due today.
Yeah.
So let's just keep that baby in for the rest of the day here.
Yeah.
Don't make it too exciting, Brad.
Yeah.
I don't think they want a kid born in Red Deer anyways.
Well, of course they do. Gary Baird being a local player, I've been, again, being involved in the bowling in Red Deer for many years, has seen him evolve from a great YBC player right up through the ranks, through the Open and through the cash tournaments and the Masters. A very accomplished player.
Oh, boy.
Aces.
Yeah. There's another situation. A reasonably decent throwing ball, and his misfortune was to get both corner pins where, the next day that'll be a strike.
I've actually played in 2010. I was on the Masters Gold team with both of these guys in Sudbury.
Yeah.
Gary's a phenomenal player, as well as Brad too.
Oh yeah. And where did you guys finish?
We won gold that year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Brad's also the Scottsdale champion from many moons ago.
Yeah.
That was his first World Tour championship.
Yeah. Again, another key shot here for Gary to clean it up. So 13.
And Gary's first Tour championship was here.
Yep, yes,
right?
It was.
Heritage.
Yeah.
I think the second year that the Heritage hosted this tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he followed you, didn't he? Didn't you win it the first year, Gene?
I was fortunate enough to have that day.
Brad's generally a player that takes a little more time on the lanes.
Key spare here to get those first 2 frames.
Ouch.
So he needs 13 to tie and 15 to win the two frame carryover.
There goes the old story like you and I were talking about. Some players play thin to win, and you and I both believe that you can punch on your second ball as easy as you can punch on your first. I don't think Brad's that way. I think Brad is he's a pure rhythmic player, and he throws to throw his best ball every time he does.
Yeah, Brad generally doesn't change anything up. He kind of just does the same thing all the time. Mm-hmm. He might switch a ball here and there, but he's not a guy that has a lot of other shots or moves around or anything like that.
Yeah, he doesn't change angles into it. Or I think if Brad, like there's many variables and many ways that you can change your approach to getting the ball to your final release point. I think Brad may work a little bit on just speed, how aggressively he throws the ball. Some houses when it's what we call fast, when there's a lot of oil on the lanes, Brad may throw harder because when he throws his finesse ball, it doesn't bite on the lanes like it would.
Mm-hmm. So Gary Baird going up in the 3rd frame here, needing more than 13 to win the frame. I think Gary's one of the few bowlers that throws the really small ball. Most of the players are throwing the larger ball, where Gary throws the 4 3/4 ball, the lightweight, and he's just a freewheeling style and puts a lot of stuff on the ball. I mean, there's a lot of hits where he hits it, you swear it's right on the beak, and he'll carry it because he gets so much rotation with that small ball.
Great shot. Gary's an awful lot like another player that used to play out of Central Alberta, Mark Jackson. And Mark was similar. Mark threw the big ball, but there was times Mark would throw the ball and it looked like that ball covered all sides of that head pin, and it just exploded exploded when it touched. And Gary's that same type of player.
You got away with one there, a little bouncy.
Yeah, that might be what you need, is that one little break.
Yeah, we saw Michael do that, and then he came back with a double. So we'll see if he can do the same thing.
Yeah. Gotta love your good fortune when you get those bouncers for strikes.
Geez, Greg, I think that might be one of your common throws, isn't it? We've always said
Yeah, I've
that
never
if you
complained.
bounce it at the foul line, it's pretty well guaranteed a strike.
I think it's got a chance. I don't know about guaranteed, but it's got a chance.
I guess when we're playing against you, we feel differently.
Okay, here we go. This on a two-frame carryover, or a two-frame carryover.
And there, as you see in the in Brad's bowling shirt, in the bottom right corner there, you'll see that he has insignia Toppler Bowl. Brad being one of the proprietors of that center as well. Not anymore.
Well, it wasn't Toppler.
Or not Toppler, Paradise. Yeah.
But I don't think anymore.
No. Paradise. Yeah.
Yeah, Brad
Correct.
is also one of our sponsors with A&B Express. So they do moving and whatnot in Calgary.
Oh, okay. Right.
I'll mention a few more here as well. Bradson Promotional Group, 5-Pin Universe, Karen Pilon Organ Donor Foundation, All-Star Bowling Sales, and some of our host centers, Golden Mile in Regina, Autumn Open, Paradise Lanes in Calgary, Heritage Traditional here in Red Deer, and Sherwood Bowl in Sherwood Park. This is generally called the Western Canadian Bowling Tour, but we have Mike Herbert here from Ontario, and we get a few other competitors from Ontario at some of the tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe even a few guys from Quebec or Newfoundland too.
Yeah, we've had. I remember 2 years ago when we were playing in Sherwood Bowl. We had the fortune of having 4 gentlemen from Newfoundland come out and play. We had at that same year, I think it was 3 or 4 that came from Quebec. Obviously, we had 6 or 7 of them that came from Ontario. So even though it's called the Western Canadian Bowling Tour, we have had a lot of the people from the East that are starting to play in the game. And that all that does is just say what a good product that you guys have produced for us.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of countless hours, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's not just guys like yourself and Kerry and Tim and that, but one that should be recognized is your better half, Jen.
My partner, as Gil Baldwin would
As
say.
your partner, yeah. And and there again, Jen's dad, Gil, does a lot for us and follows around. So, those are all the people that we also have to look at recognizing.
So that's definitely something you don't see every day. Gary Baird missing a 3-pin to miss a 2-frame carryover. So Brad Wilton winning the frame with 13 and winning the 2-frame carryover. So Brad's now leading with 4 frames to 1. I know Gary, knowing Gary, he won't be very pleased with that. Comes back with a corner pin spare.
So Brad is up 4 to 1?
Yes, Brad's up 4 to 1. Yeah.
Just shows you how the frames work. Brad's down in pinfall, but he's leading the match.
That's gotta feel good for Brad to steal those 2 frames. So how many times have we seen where somebody gets a break like that and then all of a sudden they just start freewheeling? And Brad just threw an exceptional shot there. So now he's up 5 frames to 1. So it's not over by any means, as we've seen in the other matches. It seems to come down to the end. You can certainly put the pressure on Gary now.
Brad, actually, you're saying Gary uses the 4 3/4 for the smaller balls, or Brad uses the 5-inch 3/10s.
Yeah.
So it just shows you just a matter of feel and comfort. And
Yeah.
whatever works for you.
Yeah. Most bowlers probably have 2 or 3 sets of balls that they carry to the events, and different balls react differently on different lane conditions, and we don't throw the ball exactly the same way every time, so we use different balls based on how we're throwing the ball. It's a big part of this game is learning to adjust to what ball works where, and based on how we're throwing.
Well, it's like a lot of other sports. It isn't always the best competitor that wins. A lot of times it's the competitor that adjusts the quickest and finds what he needs to do to perform.
All right, so Gary getting 15 that frame. So Brad Wilton winning the 7th frame. So now Brad's up 6 frames to 1. So Gary's looking to try and make a little bit of money now.
So we're playing for $25 a frame in this match as well.
So in the 5-pin universe rankings, at the end of the season, Brad Wilton was ranked 8th and Gary Baird was ranked 35th based on performance throughout the year.
Actually,
That's a
those
5-year.
are for a 5-year
that's
term.
5 year?
That's for the last 5 years, yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected. It's for 5 years.
Kind of like a FedEx Cup style moving
And-
scale.
At one time, the 5-pin tried to incorporate a ranking where the players were and such, and
Yeah, I
where you
remember
get
that.
ranked through it. And unfortunately, a lot of times when you rank, it's subjective. This here, with this rating that we have here, it's based on a specific criteria, how you've done over the last 5 years in these tournaments. So I think it's a little more consistent to where it is. This is basically just for our rankings of the bowlers that play in our tournaments.
Oh, it's not open.
It's not the
Masters,
open
none of that?
Masters.
Okay,
No.
and I know that's what they were. The other
The
format
ranking, yeah.
used to be that every event, and because the participation was different in different events,
Aces.
they were weighed differently. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No, this
really
is-
hard to compare apples to apples
It is,
when you have all
yeah.
these different tournaments.
yeah,
Brad threw a decent ball there, not a great ball. Ends up with aces, so now that gives you Gary a chance to carry over from frame 8, win the carryover, and possibly go on to make this what you said. Brad is up right now, 6-1.
Yeah.
And now this is personal
cleaning it
pride
up.
for Gary too, because he would like to. Hey, if he's going to lose 6-4, he'd like to win the match.
Yeah.
In pinfall.
Yeah.
Because overall, that's kind of our bragging.
Yeah,
there.
most events that we play is all pinfall. This is a unique event. Try to have every tournament a little different format, something a little different.
And that was the neat thing that you guys did when you made this tournament. You incorporated a lot of the other tournaments kind of little ideas, but in the end you made it different than what the other ones were yet close, so that it gives each one of these players won their tournament or placed in their tournaments because of specific differences. Like when we play one of the tournaments, we play the top 32 and then go up on a bracket, best 3 out of 2. And then obviously the Heritage Lanes is a little different, the way they set that. Got them open. Another one that's a different format. So by what you guys have done, you guys have given the opportunity to each one of these players to still feel comfortable in throwing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And give no one specific one an advantage over the other.
well, this is a different thought pattern process, and some of the other events are the same thing. It's when you're playing in the event, you're playing based on the format. And so sometimes you just have to think differently. This pins game is different than the others, and some of the other ones are based on bonus points and working, playing round robins and getting the amount of games in. So it's you've got a nice even amount of different types of formats, and it not one format favors a better player or a different player. So, but it keeps it interesting, and I think that's what we're looking for.
Oh, you punched and got a chop. You got a kickback.
Like we've never seen those before.
Yeah, because you get them all the time.
Oh, thank you. That's the other good thing about this here when we're all playing together. We all have the opportunity to voice our differences
Yeah.
and our opinions. some of them are right and some are wrong. With that, Brad wins the last frame.
Yeah.
And
7 frames to 3.
score-wise, close match.
2-4.